So Trainerize just ran an update, and so this is a new screen that you might be seeing, and you're like, what the heck just happened? Well, I want to make sure that you not only understand how to navigate the new app, but how to still log your food. So what you're seeing here in the middle of the screen is that I have 0 meals added for the day, but my total calories are 1750. My total protein goal is 175, carbs 131, and fat 58 grams. So I haven't logged anything yet. I'm going to click in on all of this just by clicking anywhere in this box. It's still going to look like the old version where I can add a meal from here. So in the legacy view, where we used to be able to see if we were getting all 4 gold bars for a gold circle, we can't see that anymore from this view. But if we click in on it and we hit details, you can see it. So there is still a way to see it. Also, if you're not happy with this view and you want to go back to the old legacy view, you can click on your profile up in the top left-hand corner and scroll down to legacy layout, toggle that on, and there you go. So you can go back to the old view if you like. We're not going to do that for now, so we're going to go to the bottom right-hand corner, click on the 3 dots. We're going to go back to the new view, just so we can play around with it a little bit more. So if you hit all of your goals within a 20% of your macros and calories for the day, you're going to get all green in every category, which would mean that you get 100%, which means you're going to get 10 points in the challenge. So if you're not doing a challenge, just disregard what I'm talking about, but green means good, so we want green. This new layout does also give you the option to toggle between different dates a lot easier, so I like that. And then you can also track water. And so you click on this, you're going to click on some custom numbers or things that you've already placed in there. So if I just drink 8 ounces, I'm going to just keep clicking the 8 ounce button until I reach a desired number. Or I'm going to put a custom number in there and say, no, I actually just drank 12 ounces. I'm going to hit apply and then save. So I can keep clicking on this throughout the day to keep adding to it and just saving it as I go. And then if you are finding that your app is in milliliters, but you want it to say ounces, you need to go to your little profile up at the top, scroll down to units, click on that and change it to ounces instead of milliliters. Okay, we'll go back to the front page. And that is mainly the biggest thing with the update. You do see the refer a friend down here. You can click on this and invite people to join No Bad Days. You also have the challenges tabs that look fairly similar. And then the My Group section does look a little bit different. The icons look slightly different. It's a much smaller thing, but you all should have a couple different groups that you're a part of. If you're part of the Healthy for the Holidays challenge, you've got an extra group, and all of you should see the No Bad Days Inner Circle group. And then again, you see all of your progress tabs if you have a smartwatch attached to this. Another cool thing that I have recently noticed is that if we go to the profile button and you scroll down to Apple Health, if you connect Apple Health here, okay, you turn everything on, turn all your permissions on, then you will start to see all of that data come through this app. Now, that's not the cool thing that I just noticed. What if you're using the Inbody machine and you go to your Inbody app? Okay, once you're in the app, you're going to make sure that it's also connected to Apple Health. And once you see that it's connected to Apple Health, you're going to do the little settings down here at the bottom right-hand corner. And then you're going to say sync with Apple Health. Turn on and toggle on those 2 little tabs over here on the right-hand side. Once they're toggled on, Inbody will link with Apple Health, which will then link with your No Bad Days app. So you'll see where your body fat shows up, and also your body weight will also, every time you get on the Inbody, those things should adjust to the new numbers, and your lean body mass will change as well. So that's pretty exciting that it's connecting with the Inbody now, as long as you have an Apple Watch. But I think that's true for Samsung Health as well. So different ways to connect. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. To get into the food logger, there are a couple ways you can go about doing it. You can click on the circles that are in the middle of the screen where it says 0 meals added and all of your calories are listed there, just click on that and it'll bring you right into the food logger. Or you could hit the blue plus sign and then hit meal, and it takes you in a little bit different way. This is where you can take a photo, skip a photo, add from the Discover tab, and I'll go over that a little bit later, all of these details, but that's how you at least get into the food logger. You can get in 2 different ways. Okay, you can see that I've already added a lunch for the day, but we're going to go ahead and play around in here just so you can see how to add some food and ways to really customize what you're doing. So what you're going to see up at the top are 2 important tabs. You have the diary tab, and then you have the details tab. So right now we're on the diary tab. If you click on the details, you can see your lines again and basically where you're at. So it's nice to go back and forth between diary and details when you're putting in food for the day, especially if you're trying to reach your yellow lines and get that gold star for the day. Because if you get all 4 lines yellow, you do get a gold star. All right, let's go back to diary. And at the top it says add a meal. So we're going to click on that. You can see that it says today lunch right at the top of the screen. Now, it might be breakfast that I'm trying to log. So if that's the case, I'm going to click on today lunch and click breakfast. Then I'll have to hit apply. And now here's the time where you're going to either take a picture of your food or you're going to skip the photo and go right into adding it in directly. Okay, so let's go through that in a little bit. For now, I want to add from the Discover tab, which is in the bottom right corner of the screen, because the Discover tab is where I keep all of your guys' recipes from your 3-day detox and 6 weeks of meal plans book, or where I keep the fat burning and autoimmune meal plan recipes. So the Discover tab is very important if you're following along in those books, or if you just want to find something, some sort of recipe from Trainerize's thousands of recipes that they have. You'll see my recipes are at the top. They are not in alphabetical order. And that's okay. You're just going to type in at the search for meals something that you might be looking for, like the detox green smoothie. There it is right there. Okay, now if you want to learn what's inside the smoothie and you want to know more details on the macro splits, you're going to click on the picture itself. And that's going to take you inside the recipe. Okay, now we go outside of that. Okay, and now if you just want to log it, you're going to click the circle and then hit log. Okay, then we hit the X to go back. And now we have breakfast logged and lunch logged. Now, you can tell that both of these are recipes that I've put in here. Now, let's go ahead and add in something that is like a couple line items. So we're going to hit add meal, and I'm going to go, let's say today dinner. I'll hit apply, and then I'm going to hit skip photo or take a photo. So if I take a photo, it's going to take me right into my recents, my favorites, or my customs food items. Now, some of these things that you've eaten recently that you've logged, the most recent, will show up at the top of the page. You do have the option to do a barcode scanner, which is really helpful. So if you click the barcode scanner and you have a food item in front of you, and so what we do here is we hold the barcode within the frame to scan the product. And then what it does is it automatically pulls that product up. Enter barcode manually if you cannot recognize, or if it doesn't recognize it, that's fine too. And then we go back and we hit review, and basically it tells us how many calories that food item is, and then you log it. Okay, now let's go back in, add a meal. We're going to skip the photo. Okay, so we've done an item or 2 with the barcode scanner. This time we're going to either add in something from our recents, or we're going to search what's in this meal. So at the top, it has a little magnifier glass and it says, what's in this meal? You're going to type in here, let's say chicken. It's going to give us a lot of options for chicken. Chicken breast is the 3rd one down. If that's what you've eaten, you do need to be mindful of the serving sizes. So here it says 1 cup. I usually like to measure my chicken in terms of ounces, so I weigh it. So I'm going to change that to ounces. And then I'm going to click on the little 1 and type in that it was 4 ounces that I ate. And now you're going to have to hit the plus sign in order for that to be added to your food logger. Now, we're not done logging food for this particular meal. So what we're going to do next is just hit the X right next to the chicken up at the top. It's going to save your chicken breast in the background, but you won't be able to see it. So we're going to click on that, exit that out. Now it looks like it all went away, but it's still there because you can see at the top 187 calories and 1 food item. Okay, so that's okay. It's still there. Now we're going to type in like romaine lettuce raw, 1 cup. Sure, let's do that. Now it's adding at the top. You can see 2 foods at 195 calories. So we're getting there. So now we're going to exit out of that and add in our next thing. Let's say I go down in my recent items, and I know recently I had some sour cream. So it's right there at the top, 2 tablespoons. Good, I'm going to just add that. Or maybe I only had 1 tablespoon. I can change that. Like by scrolling, and then if I had like 1/8 of a tablespoon, I can do that. Okay, so there's ways to change out your serving sizes pretty easily, and then we're going to hit the next item. Okay, so an avocado. Okay, and let's say you used 1 avocado, and in this case you were making your own, but you only used 1/2 an avocado to make it. So we're going to hit the plus sign. And now we have 4 foods up at the top, 360 calories. Let's review what is in this meal. We have 4 items here. Remember, we're clicking on dinner. We're logging for dinner. Everything looks good, so I'm going to hit the log button. And now I have my breakfast, lunch, and dinner listed here. All right, now this is a good time to go over to details and just kind of see how we're doing. Looks like I have a lot of calories left to eat, a lot of protein, carbs, and fats. So I need to go back to my diary and kind of look at what I still need to add in order. So now one of the things I think is a great way for you guys to make sure you hit your macros every day is to log your food at the beginning of the day, not at the end of the day. Because if you're trying to play catch up at the end of the day, you oftentimes have too many calories, macros to make up for. But if you do it at the beginning of the day, you can say, oh, well, I need to add in my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It looks like this isn't enough food, so maybe I'm going to add protein powder to my green detox smoothie. So let's do that right now. So we're going to click on the 3 little dots next to the green detox smoothie, and then we're going to add food. So click on add food, and then I'm going to type in, well, actually I have it right here, but I have my AMP Tri-Release Protein Chocolate, 1 serving. I'm going to say I'm going to have that and hit save. Okay, so then that bumped up my protein by quite a bit. And then at lunchtime, my protein pancakes, that was not all I had. Let's say I had some syrup with it, like 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, or probably 2 more likely. Okay, we're going to add that and hit save. Now let's take a look at our details again, just see where we're at. Still have quite a few calories, proteins, carbs, and fats to go. So let's go back to our diary and let's look at our dinner a little bit further. Now I can add more ounces to the chicken breast. So I'm just going to click on chicken breast, and it's going to allow me to change the ounces directly right inside of it. Let's say, well, let's have 6 ounces of chicken breast. And it looks like I have quite a few carbs left to eat, so I could add a tortilla to this. So let's go ahead and click on the 3 dots. Click add food. And then I'm going to type in mission, carb, balance, soft tortilla. I'm going to have 1 of those. Click on the plus sign, hit save. It's going to add it to your dinner. Now let's click on the details again. Oh, looks like I'm close to hitting my fat goal. I hit yellow there. I still have 31 grams remaining on carbs there, and then I have 35 grams remaining on the protein and 397 remaining on the calories. So I'm going to go back to diary, and I'm actually going to add a little bit more protein to my breakfast, because right now I'm sitting only at 28 grams of protein. I can add a little bit more there. So I'm going to click on that AMP Tri-Release Protein and make that 2 servings. Hit apply, click on details, And it looks like I've hit my calories and protein. Now let's address the carbs. So here, I'm going to add a meal. And in this case, I'm going to go to Today Lunch and click Snack and Apply. I'm going to skip the photo. And I'm going to add in an apple. So 1 medium apple. Hit Review. And of course, that's mostly carbs, so we're going to hit Log. And then I'm going to click Details, and looks like I've hit my daily nutrition goal for the day before I've even started the day. So this is what I want you guys to do, is make sure you're hitting those daily nutrition goals and that you're set up for success before you even eat. And then you can go about eating. Now I still have 185 calories remaining. I still have 10 grams of protein I could eat, 6 grams of carbs, and 7 grams of fat. So I could still have a whole nother snack if I wanted to. So if I go back to diary, I may add in more at my dinner, because maybe I want to throw in maybe a couple tortilla chips, or I want to throw in something else like cheese, something that sounds good with this taco. All right, and so that's how we log our food there. Now I want to go back to the 3 dots that are in the box next to each of the pictures. Those 3 dots give us a lot of things that we can do for our food. So we can change the meal type. So if we say, no, that wasn't breakfast, that's actually lunch or dinner or a snack, we can do that there. We can go into copying it to another day. We can save it to favorites, which is what I really like to do. Saving it to favorites makes it a one-click add, and so I'll do that so we can see what that looks like later. Green detox smoothie with high protein. Okay, I'm going to save that. Let's go back to those 3 dots and look what else we have. We have the add food and add description or delete. So those are options there. Now let's swipe down. Now I want you to also know that you can delete by swiping to the left in any category if there's something that you want to totally remove. That makes that easy. And then again, if you click on the item, you can change the size, the amount, and it gives you all the micronutrients for that item. Again, going back to details, you can see all your macro and micro distributions as well. And we're back to diary. Now let's go back to add meal again, because I want you guys to see a few other features inside of this. So if we go to skip photo, so we get to the point where we have our recents, favorites, and customs. Now in our custom items, this is where I go if I want to add something that doesn't come up on the barcode scanner. So for instance, in Simple Mills Sweet Thins, I got at Costco recently, and when I barcode scanned them, they didn't come up. So I had to go into custom and create them myself. So if you click on add custom, which is the bottom of the screen, you can see that you just put in the name and then you put in the serving size, like 1 cup, for example. And then you have to type in the calories, proteins, carbs, and fats. Those things are going to be known to you because the packaging is sitting right in front of you. Or if it's a recipe online that you found and you want to go in and put the recipe in for a single serving, you can do that here. That's a way to make a custom food item. Another thing that I do to mess around with getting a gold day is to make a custom food item for like a fast day, or a 3-day detox day. So when you're working in my program, the 3-day detox doesn't quite add up to the amount of macros that you're going to need to get a gold star day. So in order to get a gold star day on a 3-day detox or a fast day, you need to go in and make your own 3-day detox day with the exact amount of calories, carbs, proteins, and fats that your body needs in order for that to make out to a full yellow bars. Because I want to log a 3-day detox or fast day with all of the calories that I have to eat for the day, just to show you what it looks like when all of your macros and calories are met for the day on the main screen, just to make this a little easier, just to show you. You're going to hit the blue check mark, hit review. You can then review that everything looks good. I have that 40-30-30 split of protein, carbs, and fats. I'm going to hit log, and then we're going to hit exit out of there. So now on the main screen, you can see everything is green. In the legacy view, what we would have seen is everything being yellow lines. So I'm going to show you that really quick. because that's what it used to look like, is everything looked yellow and you had the gold star. And so if you're used to seeing that, and that's what you'd rather see, then you can go back to the legacy view. You can also do this through the new view as well by clicking again on the green circles all together. And if you click on the details tab, you'll see the yellow lines again there. So you can stay in the new view and still see if you got a gold star with all of those yellow lines. Now if we go back to diary, hit X, go back to the main screen, we can see here that all it's doing now is telling us how many calories, grams we hit. But it's not really telling us what percentage we have left and if we went over or anything like that. So we're just gonna add more calories to this so you guys can see what it looks like when we go over. We're gonna skip photo again and just add in something heavy here like cheddar cheese and hit log. And then we're gonna go to the details to look at it there. Okay, we're familiar with the red and yellow lines, and then we're gonna hit exit. And now it does turn red on the front screen. So when we've gone over, we're used to the red. Green now apparently is when we're within 20% of our grams of proteins, carbs, fats, and calories. And then let's go ahead and take out a few things to see what it shows us or what it looks like when we undereat for the day. So let's delete that 3-day detox. We'll just keep our cheese in there. And we'll look here. Obviously, we're familiar with the blue lines that don't look very filled out. Now we're going to exit out of that. And it's apparently blue on the front screen when you're underneath your 20% to your goal. So you're going to get green if you're within 20% of your goal, either higher or lower. You're going to get blue if you're under your goal, and you're going to get red if you're over your goal. Again, if you like those lines, you can go to the little check mark and hit the details tab to kind of look that over. Now I want to bring you to a whole nother thing to look at, and that's the My Recipes section. This is new in 2025. So if you click on My Recipes, you can see that this is where you're going to be able to go in and put in a whole bunch of your own recipes. So this is pretty fun. So if you click on More at the bottom, it says Create New Recipe or Manage My Recipe. So in this case, I'm going to create a new recipe. And here's where you can take a photo of your recipe, name it, add the ingredients, and then start building your recipe. Now, this is an awesome new feature. I'm so excited for it because in the past, clients have had to go off of like something from MyFitnessPal, or they would have to go to a recipe builder online. Now the recipe builder is built right into Trainerize, which I love. And so once you've created a recipe, you can actually make it a favorite. So up at the top where it says log, you see the little heart. If I heart it, that means I just saved it as a favorite. And that becomes important later when we're trying to add food really quickly. So you see the favorites down at the bottom. If we click on that, you can see the green detox smoothie, protein pancakes. Those are the two most recent things I've added to favorites. And so then I can just log it directly from there. Okay, so if we go back to my food logger for today, see how lunch got added two items within lunch. Obviously, I just did that. So I'm like, oops, I did not mean to do that. I'm going to delete this one out. And now it's nothing. Okay. So we got rid of that. So now we're just left with our protein pancakes and maple syrup. Okay. So those are some of the ins and outs of food logging. And let's see, let's go back into our lines. Let's click on add meal. You can click on create a meal down at the bottom, far left. That's what we're doing right now. Recents are anything that you've worked on recently to add. I don't use that one as much, but I use favorites a lot, especially when I make like a special coffee in the morning with the same protein every day and the same creamer every day. That's something that you don't want to add 4 line items to, that you just want to have a single click and log. Okay, so that's what I love for that. And then the My Recipes, of course, for building your own recipes. And then the Discover tab for finding all of my recipes from the meal plans that you've been given through working with me, and finding lots of different fun things that within the Trainerize library kind of some interesting things you may not think about, but like down here, these are not my recipes, but you can kind of see how they have some interesting things you can try. And the cool thing about these is if you click on them, you get the full recipe, how to make it and all those things. So if those sound really good to you, then you can attempt to make some fun recipes there. And it could be a little overwhelming as well, but some people really like variety, and sometimes we need that. So happy food logging, you guys. That is it, and I will see you later.